Good morning. Wanted to see about upgrading my magic set. I don't know what all it takes. I think a bunch of each here though. So, Embla set. Bunch of each here. That's gonna mean going into the Mistlands again. There's a skull there. Skull there. I'm wondering, is it worth throwing a troll at the ancient skulls in order to try and bust them open nice and quick and easy? Is that viable? Because the other way is just beating on it till it breaks. I haven't run into really FPS issues. I'm gonna leave the bread behind and take a stamina food, because even though it's Mistlands, where I'm much better than I used to be at it, I don't want to, I don't want to get booped. Okay, I want to make sure that I've got the stuff necessary for a stone portal, because I'll probably get more stuff while I'm over there. I think I already have a stone bench over there. Do those 30 Grosstein, 10 eyes. Repair real quick. All right. I have one already earmarked over here, but what was the name? Gout. Okay, so we're gonna use drop as the way back. That was just wood, okay. The outpost, big peak. Let's go for the skull up north. I think I had one that I had marked par. Okay. Go this way. There's a sword. There's a skull. Oh, hello. Came up from behind. Come on, Seeker. Come on. Hey, how's it going, Ian? I would like to upgrade to the better magic set and upgrade some of my weapons for when I'm running with magic and it requires a lot of mistland collection. Ow. Feel like I hear some more bugs too. Ugh. So this skull was in an awkward spot because it's right down on the water, meaning I have to stand in water while collecting. Might even mean that I can't get all of the soft tissue from in here. But on the bright side, it's a ton of soft tissue, and I know where another one is. Nice. Gotta dig out down below. That's fine. Just collecting materials. If you just killed Ichthir yesterday and now you have portals unlocked, I feel like you're doing pretty good. Nice. Yeah, there's like I really like the building, obviously. So a big portion of what I like to do is get to a point where I have the materials that I like to build with, and then slow down. So like I kind of go a little fast initially, and then I'll slow down once I get up to that point. That is hard to get out of. Alright, is there any more skulls up north? There's one there. And one way over there. I just pulled 60 out of that. Yeah, we're just gonna go straight to the skulls. One there. Oh, I think I gotta go around. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I was over here. Well, I say it's been a long time. It's probably been 2 weeks, which feels like a long time when you've clocked as many hours as I have in this game. Particularly in those last 2 weeks, but no, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, I could definitely be more organized, but I feel like it's pretty good. I was considering there's a mod for letting your chests like snap together like on a grid point so that they get perfectly aligned. Yeah, it is kind of dress right, dress a little. I you know, have a neurotic personality disorder, and I don't think that I got it from the military, but I think that the military definitely inspired it. So, like my spice rack in my kitchen where I cook, I got one of those in the drawer things, so I was able to take all of the various spice drawer, the spice shakers, and get them in these glass jars with labels and get it all lined up in the drawer. Yes, the man does got me trained. That is definitely how it be. It's not like I have OCD, but I definitely have pet peeves, you know, about things lining up in particular ways. Okay, I have a skull marked on the map, so it should be here. Oh, here we go. Oh, this one actually should be good because it should break pretty easily. Let's ditch the 10 stone. Yeah, I have physical therapy trying to work on my legs and feet twice a week for a little while now, and they always have me warm up on the treadmill. And I've noticed that when I walk on the treadmill, because they just have me, you know, doing like a brisk walk on the treadmill for warm up, I always have my hands behind my back as if I'm at like parade rest. I'm just that I don't know why I keep doing it. I don't know why but it's just like someone told me rest, and so I just where just default. I also do that when I'm like standing in line at the grocery store too. Like I will often just have my hands at the rest position. I hear it storming. They say you can hear a sound if you hold the microphone to your stomach. Please lie down and do it. No. No, I don't think I will. But I imagine that, yes, you probably can hear sounds from the stomach, gurgling and whatnot. Oh, shit. Fell right out the bottom of that bitch. Okay, let's see if I can hop up there. Nope. Gotta wait for some stamina. Okay. Yeah, I'll be going back to my base in a few minutes. I am working on filling up my inventory here. Oh shit, I'm gonna be... That's what it is. I can't wear my belt right now because I'm in Mistlands. Ditch stone, ditch the black marble. Come on, back up there. Get back up in the hole. Stone, black marble. Oh. Oh, don't go boom. Almost there. Almost got it all. Nope. 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 Don't fall. Motherfucker. I think one of the harder things with the storage is trying to... So, like, in the past, I have done the thing where I've, like, separated all of my items around my base to be secluded into the different types of material that they are, right? So, like, anything blacksmithing related is way over here, and anything food related is way over here. And so I kind of still have a little bit of that going, but I didn't go to an extreme with it because I realized in that previous build that I had done that by putting things so far spread out from one another into their own secluded categories, it made it difficult when I was building something that did use a bunch of the different parts. Like, say, take I don't know, take weapons for example. Some weapons might require leather scraps or deer hide or whatever, but also require wood and also require metal, and you know what I mean, like the combination of the various things. And so it's like you can't spread them out too much because there is a lot of areas that there's overlap. Some stuff that's food and potion, it might also be used in something else, in a gear, or there's some throwable like weapon or utility type objects. So I tried to seclude what I could in ways that made sense in terms of like time spent walking, like the added time spent walking. So like all of my metal is in one area right next to the forge, but it's also not very far, so when I do want to craft something, it's not like it's a big long walk. Yeah, I think that's should be good for now. I'd have to go smelt all of it. So I have a whole room for my portals that I'm like actively dealing with. The most annoying part obviously is collecting fine wood. I keep a box near the portals, at least one, this now 3. I was like, let me just go drop off stuff real quick kind of thing. There you go. So I made the area. No, it's totally fine. And I can come back over here too whenever. So I made that area, in my mind, just big enough that I don't feel like the camera gets squished to have to, you know, go in and turn around and look at the different box labels. Because I didn't want it to be, you know, massive, but I didn't want it to be tight. So tight that it becomes problematic. And then in these other boxes that are overflow, the intention was to just use them temporarily and then get rid of them once I built up the base. But these are all full of wood still. There's 9 here still full of wood. And then the bottom row's got like miscellaneous equipment stuff, fishing supplies, extra arrows. Like, I just haven't figured out a spot for it. My cooking corner, I've got a separate storage over here for everything that can be cooked directly. It does not include everything for making potions, because some of the potion crafting stuff is like monster drops, like a blood sac or a dwarf eye or whatever. So the ores, I went with this. I put them on the half wall so that I could reach them from the furnace side that's slightly further away. And then I can still reach them from the crafting side where, like, if I'm at the bench, I can just grab what I need and build it. Or I can go here instead of, like, you know, making a whole separate room for the forges and having to run around the corner or something. Yes. That's exactly how it is, Vanguard. It's very much a temporary, permanent solution. Yeah, and I've got 3 drop boxes in the portal hub that I don't know that I will ever be able to get away from 3, but I also haven't decorated in there yet, so who knows what'll happen when I eventually get around to that. I thought about it. I thought about adding a mod that would let you do the craft from thing. I'm not against it, but I'm also plenty happy with the way that it is. It's not too big of a deal, in my opinion. Although, in Shrouded, I think that there were so many different items so immediately that it got really uncomfortable to not have boxes that you could pull items from across the room. But I'm also on a shared server with a couple buddies, so I'm trying to keep them in mind before considering adding anything that requires being added to the server for mods, because I don't want to overwhelm them. One of the guys is brand new to Valheim, like with this playthrough as of whatever it's been, 4 months or something. So I don't want to stack him with too many mods and have it like tweak his brain on what vanilla is. Yeah, Enshrouded's great. I didn't beat the content that they had available when I played it a year ago or something, but I would say pretty close. Okay, so this set, yes, I can do the entire Embla set, I think. 20, 35 for trousers, so 55. I currently have enough, so I can craft that set, get it started. Ask hides, and I don't know how many linen it's going to take. Yeah, and the other thing, Ian, that I've been doing, when you get these workbench upgrades, I've been hiding all of them underground, so they are still in range of my benches while not taking up all of my space. My previous building, I was just kind of trying to like stick everything as tight as possible, and it was rough. Yeah, I could see that, using mods as a reward system makes sense. I played through the game. I don't remember how much stuff was available when the game launched. the very first time, but I know that I played through a couple times up through the plains, several playthroughs up into the plains, where I I went through purely vanilla. I know that this is probably the first time I've ever built anywhere near as big as I am currently. Trousers, hood, robes, flammable. This is definitely the biggest that I've done building wise, or the most building that I've done. So that's interesting. But I in the past, I would like not have any torches because refilling the torches felt like the most tedious thing to me in the world. So I just wouldn't have torches for the longest time. I would just be like, okay, no torches for me. I'm gonna just go torch free and just use my headlamp, and would only do that. Yeah, this was new to me. I didn't even know it was a thing. The stone portals. So that caught me off guard when I found out that that was a thing. But I also this playthrough was my first time even actually going into the Mistlands, because while it existed, maybe last time and maybe the time before when I played, it existed, I never went because I was scared. Before they added Mistlands, the world gen could still, generate the territory that would become the Mistlands. And so when you're out boating around and you find this island that's got fog all around it, and the mist wasn't as bad in the past as it is now in terms of the severity of blocking your view and whatnot. So the mist wasn't as bad in the past as it is now, but they made the islands in the past very similar to what they are now, where it's this like jagged rockness stuff. But back then, they made it to where you could not access the island. It was all jagged all the time, so like there was no access point to get onto the island. But there was spider webs everywhere, so like it was this added kind of terror in that this island, this scary, creepy island, was just covered in spider webs. So once they added Mistland, I was definitely hesitant about going there, especially because at that time I ended up, being by myself. Yeah, me too. I did wish for the spider thing. I was a little disappointed when I found out it was just bugs, but also at the same time, like it's still good. I'm happy with Mistlands. Find wood, nails, and scraps. Ooh, I think fine wood might be upstairs. I think I still have some upstairs. I want to go put the mage armor. Let's check over here. I want to go put the mage armor upstairs in the mage's headquarters. Fine wood? Fine wood? One fine wood? A little more than one. Down here? Yeah, so these are the the chests to build from. I end up with those sporadically placed around at times. Do I think it should go upstairs, or do I think it should go down here? I think maybe it should go down here. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think it should go down here. because then at least I get to see it a little more often. I don't really go in the apothecary. I don't have to go in any of these places, right? Because everything I need is downstairs, but it'll be more easily seen than if it were upstairs. I got quite a bit of the wall done the last couple days. I still have to figure out more of what I want to do. And I started very vaguely earmarking a plan for a garrison up on the hill. There's just like a flat hunk of stone up there now. I want to do like a military outpost type building and have it be like barrack style bedding inside, you know, a handful of rows of bunk beds, and then have a floor with a bunch of weaponry. And then I want to have like several either windows or balconies where I can put ballistas, just for the visual aspect of the ballista, not that it's going to actually do anything over there. But I thought it'd be a cool thing to just have this, you know, big military tower protecting, or, you know, appearing to be protecting. So the kitchen's done. The dining hall, I think, is done, unless I come up with some other idea. I mean, it's technically the same with all of them. They're done until I come up with something else to do. I could probably put some stuff on the shelf here. I made a fireplace mantle, but I decked out the dining hall. I think it's pretty well done. So the only things that I have left that I did have an original intent on doing in this area is a building over here that'll be like just like a rich house. It might be, you know, like a lord's manor or something, or maybe just a rich person's place, but it's just like an individual house with maybe a couple rooms. Oh God, no. No, I did not plan. The only thing I planned was, and plan is still vague in the sense of, I had an idea for what I wanted to do with the basement, and that was the extent of it. That was where my brain started and stopped. Was I had an idea for how I would handle the basement and have it make sense, in order to ensure that my big thing was having everything I wanted in one space. So the basement got done the way that it is so that I would have all of it. And then I knew that I wanted to cover the area with cosmetic build, but I had no idea, I had no plan originally beyond I'm going to put some stuff up there. I had actually even, I think, started a few different things and ended up tearing some of it down to redo what I was thinking because it just didn't fit with, like, it didn't make sense. It didn't make enough sense what I was looking at versus, you know, what I was thinking I wanted. More tissue in there. I was looking at it yesterday, I think yesterday, and I was looking at my VOD from like a month ago, because I've only been at this place for like 5 weeks. Let me see. I downloaded some of the videos because I was going to go through and take some edits to do part of a time-lapse thing. Here, let me switch this view. So this is my old base. I had this circular stone building that I was working on. And the issue I kept running into was that I put my portal room looked nifty, similar to what it is now, but I put it up on the second floor of this particular building. So every time I would portal in and out, I'd have to go run to get up to the portals. And then when I come back through the portal room, I'd have to like jump off. So I built a separate set of stairs to be able to get down into stuff, but it still meant like a lot of running around. And then this was a add-on to my original building that was like the main crafting building. So I went from this building that was this circular room with all the storage. I went from this to let me add a quarter circle out here to make a blacksmith spot because I ran out of space and I didn't think this through. And then I went the other direction on the other side of this circle. I went the other direction to make this kind of cooking area. So like I had a bunch of stuff going for me, but it was bothering me how much extra running I had to do to get to all these different things. It looked nifty, but it wasn't working for me. And then ultimately I realized that it would be much nicer if I could plant like every type of plant without too much extra effort. So I decided to relocate. Trying to look and see. I know I downloaded at least one clip or one stream of when I first got to the new territory. Maybe I didn't download it yet. I just found the VOD. Yeah, that's all Mistland stuff. I'll have to go look at the VODs because I definitely did not have much of a plan with this. This area that I'm at right here, that I'm standing on, this is ground level. This is what used to be ground level here. And then I, raised the ground around it to bring the height up to have it match everything. I'm probably going to get plant everything at some point just because I know that I can do a bunch with it. I just haven't added it yet just because I've been okay with what's available so far, but I know that it gives you a lot of other options. The only thing I wasn't sure is again, it's that situation of I just don't want to bombard the other guys with a bunch of new stuff, and I just added this other one called Weapon Crate. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's like the serving tray, but it works for weapons and armor and some of the metalwork tools, pickaxes, axe, and all the weaponry. Although it doesn't let you do arrows, sadly. I wish that it did. But beyond that, it's really cool. It lets you manipulate stuff and plant it without having to have an item frame. So, for example, if I wanted to stick this axe somewhere, just putting it on an item frame is kind of boring. But if you were to want it to be like, say, leaning on something, you could, let me do this one. You could lean it against something, kind of like that, and have it be sitting at whatever angle you want it to. The only downside is that it's a very new mod. Like, I guess it's pretty new. And so every item seems to only anchor to its center point. So if you really want to get like an axe, for example, to look the way you want in terms of its rotation and where it's going to sit, I've noticed that you might have to What do we got? Let me grab a piece of wood. I've noticed that I have to do a little, say, tweaking to get it to do what I want. So let me put this. Let me put this like this. So if I put a piece of wood down, now I've got something that I can kind of be my center anchor point. So now when I place it, I'm aiming at that piece of wood, and then if I wanted to get rid of it now I can, and the thing will, you know, keep staying where it is. And so it takes a little getting used to, but it makes it to where you don't have to have item frames for everything, and then it also lets you have that customization to make a space feel a little more alive instead of it being, you know, a little bit more flat and rigid. Tarstone, coal bone. Alright. Honey, we can put away. I don't need the stone right now. I want to check. I want to check the upgrades for all of these weapons. So the Staff of Fracturing I haven't used much. I've been happy with the Staff of Embers. I'm not sure if the Staff of Fracturing is supposed to be better or more damage or what, but I've been pretty happy with what's there already. Staff of the Wild will require a Jade upgrade that I think I have some of still. There? Oh yeah, I got 6 Jades. Staff of Protection I could upgrade, but I need to wait for that eats here to refine. That'll be a nice upgrade because it increases the length of time for the absorption and the amount of it, I think. I can't upgrade the troll one because I have no bloodstone. Yeah, Staff of the Wild. Does upgrading it let you have more vines or let the vines last longer? Because it doesn't specifically even talk about the vines here. I don't know. I do think it is pretty cool that they made it to where the black metal is immune to the magic properties coming off of the E-tier. It's a nifty way for them to, you know, add an extra interesting element without, you know, making it terrible or anything. Like they give you a problem and a solution instead of just giving you a problem. I forgot the frost staff. The only other thing I haven't figured out yet on how I want to handle it is going to be the stairs or the walls. I'm thinking stairs on the interior, but I haven't decided yet. But I also haven't figured out like what I want to do to decorate it yet or anything either, so I'm definitely very behind on figuring all that out. Alright, old content. Just trying to check real quick because I definitely have an old stream that shows the beginning of this build and the lack of concept I had going for me. Guess it's all the way here. Yeah, this will be the first one, it looks like. So, let me pop that open full. Okay, so this is the same area that my base currently is. So I showed up over here, I made a portal, like I brought a boat full of metals, I made a portal, and then I started stacking boxes off to the side to pile up all the things that I wanted to build with. The old base stuff. Can't see at night. Oh yeah, that was good times. Just skip ahead to... where is it? There you go. Let me go back, Midgen. Gosh, this feels like it was yesterday, but it also feels like it was a year ago that this happened, that I was here and dying. Damn it. Oh. It's so funny that this, like where I'm standing here fighting at this portal space, right there, I will go to that exact same spot. That would probably be... I don't think I can go to the exact same spot because I think it's in this wall, but I think that would be about here. This spot on the map. Yeah, I think I'd have to go in the wall. So you can see how much it's expanded and changed over time. There you go. This is that same perspective. So this is what I basically did. This is the beginning of this basement, right? So with where that is right there, that's probably right around here, give or take. So I started the basement knowing that it was going to be a basement that I was going to do everything in, but beyond that, I didn't have a strict plan and have had to wing it for a bunch of stuff and just kind of like make stuff work. Yeah, so like for example, this portal room used to be a half a block smaller in every direction. You can see where the mage tower is above, and that's where these walls used to line up, but it felt a little cramped and I couldn't quite get all the portals to line up exactly. It's such a very specific thing, but it's essentially that like when you've got the stone blocks, I had them... Here, let me grab a piece of stone. So I had the stone initially lined up on these outside corners. So when I would rotate inward, I was eating up this interior space on the inside corners of everything. So I expanded, had them all go one block back further, and then had them use the inside corners to rotate from so that they maintained the space on the inside, keeping, you know, a bigger angle available here. And it's one of those, like, it might not seem like a big change, but it actually was a really big change in terms of being able to add space. But to do that, I had to go put in dozens of metal poles in order to support all of the weight above, because that tower's big. Okay. And then I found out yesterday? No, the night before. I did a test, but I figured out that you can get 8 stacks of bronze scraps from basically every fortress if you have enough of the prostitute powder for making explosive catapult charges. I'm gonna go put all this stuff away. Forward. Frosting. Ashwood. I probably need to farm some more fine wood and ashwood. Drop the stone. Regular wood. Copper. Oi, so much stuff to smelt down. We keep going with the bronze. I think I have enough flaw metal to upgrade everything, honestly, that I'm wearing. Which, I mean, I'm very into the magic stuff, but also at the same time, I do really like still having the ability to wear heavy armor. Let me see what all these upgrades would cost. Ashen Cape I can upgrade for more hides. That's easy. Flaw Metal Breastplate. Flaw Metal and Hide. Flaw Metal Hide and a little bit of E tier. Flaw Metal Hide. Flaw Metal Hide and Ashwood. I guess this is something I should have researched initially. If I upgraded the regular Nidhogg blade all the way up to a level 4 before turning it into a bloody Nidhogg blade, the Nidhogg the Bleeding, does it convert a level 4 straight over into a bloody level 4? Or would it turn it into a regular blood blade that would then require upgrading still? That would be the thing that I don't know at all. Okay, Ashen Cape as upgraded as I can get it. The workbench to level 6, I don't even know that I have access to things to make this bigger. Do I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the max I have available based on materials at hand. Yeah, I already turned my regular blade into a bloody one, but I don't want to upgrade it because it's going to cost more of the bloodstones. But at the same time, is it always going to cost more bloodstones to upgrade? So I don't know. Okay, those are all upgraded. Not sure that I care 100% about upgrading Ripper. Shield is okay for now. Yeah, these are all okay for now. I like having the armor, but put the flaw metal back. Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly just curious for, the sake of knowing, but also like I don't want to upgrade my current sword. If I could make a brand new sword, upgrade it all the way and have less bloodstones needed to craft, because right now I have 0 and I think I had only gotten like 2 in total so far. I only just got my first blue one, which adds chain lightning, which is awesome. But also, I have been doing a lot more with magic lately, so it doesn't strictly help. Which also, is there a magic cloak? Is there a cloak that does improvements for magic? Because if not, then I might just make an Askaven cloak so that I've got that run speed bonus. Don't. I don't see any cloaks that say anything about E-tier on them. Yeah, I guess maybe I will just do that. Well, I assumed that the bloodstones, the blue, green, and red ones, I assumed that they were all just RNG for what you get when you clear a fortress and you are looting those. Times bad weather, please don't make this last forever. The upgrading it just gives me an extra armor point and a little bit extra durability, but it doesn't do anything else. Oh, that is really cool that it gives you reduction in the cost to dodge. That is definitely awesome, but I will still wear the Ashen Cape or my armor set, like my melee fighting set, because that makes sense to me. Bum bum bum. That away. Put this away. I'm gonna finish putting the boxes, clearing them out and getting all the stuff put back. And I put all of these things in my brain are stuff that the blacksmith deals with. So I think that's what makes this easy for me to think in my brain, is that the 2 blacksmith tables, everything that they deal with and only they deal with, really. So that's why all the random odds and ends are in there. But and I've thought about putting chains in there, but then I know that I'm gonna be like, okay, chains, let me go over to my swamp box because they come from the swamp, and then I'm gonna forget about where I put them and have to try and re-find them. I need to probably trap another Lox just so that I can have Lox's breeding and I can get more Lox fur, because I imagine those feel like the nicest rug And so I imagine I will probably get rid of the deer hide ones that I have and replace them with lox hide ones and use almost exclusively lox hide rugs. Yeah, Ian, kind of. Very, very long story short is I tried streaming 10 years ago ish when my kid was my at the time only kid, but now my oldest kid, when he was 2 or 3. I was streaming on and off, or more on than off, for a few months. But that was, a long time ago, more than 10 years ago. Gave it a shot. And then life got busy, had another kid, bought a house, and just didn't have the energy to try and come up with the schedule. I think honestly, not having the ability to have a set schedule was probably the thing that got me to stop, because like I want a game and I would like to stream, but at the same time, if I don't have a set schedule, I know that hinders the opportunities. And so now all of my kids are in school, so I have some opportunities now, but yeah, I tried over a decade ago, and then I basically just got back on my account for the first time 5-6 weeks ago, and was like, you know what, I've got time during the day that my kids are all at school, like 4 hours every morning, almost 4 hours. I could easily have that be my set schedule and work from there, and then still some evenings, like Pacific time, 10 p.m. to midnight-ish. For Bloodstone's easiest way. So I don't know how big the Ashlands actually is. My assumption was that the Ashlands did take up a good portion of the lower section. Right now, I did find that this is starting to, be ocean again here on the side. And then there's ocean here, but I don't know, because this is where the boss is labeled at. So realistically, I've done these couple fortresses, and I know that my buddies, they said that they went west from where we started here. I don't know where all they went, and I didn't see any fortresses over in this section. So I'm not sure if they just kept going further and further or what. But my guess would be that if I went west further, I could probably find a bunch more fortresses. The one thing I wanted to do was tame some asks. My understanding is that having an ask is a massive benefit to the Ashlands experience. Not only does it provide you with a way to get around while, being overweight, whatever, you can ride them while being, 5,000 pounds, just like with Loxes. But having them fight for you. The one thing I was curious about is if they are like a combination of wolf and Lox, or are they just like the new Lox? And also, I've seen Ask run across lava. Do your tame Asks have the ability to run across lava without catching fire? That would be the other big thing on, does it shortcut your time, not having to, run all the way around areas. I definitely got that vibe, the sort of vertigo feeling. I got that from Loxes, riding a Lox the first time, but I definitely got used to it pretty quick. But I have seen that there are mods for riding experiences, so it should clean things up a bit. Oh, my buddy's being raided. Wonder what raid it is. Whoa, whoa. I was thinking about setting up a catapult just to be able to launch myself closer to my friend's house up there. Oh, their raid is already over. Whatever it was. There's more Loxes. Do I... I think I do. I think I'm gonna see if I can't get those other Loxes into my base. I imagine my Lox doesn't care, right? About if I bring an enemy Lox nearby. Because the Loxes don't fight one another. Yeah, so my buddy, he found this land and he was telling me like, oh yeah, this is a dope spot. I'm going to build here and then you can build up here if you want to. And he showed me this area. And so it's thanks to him that I have this territory where I'm able to plant everything in one area, which is great, not having to, you know, portal, check on the growth of plants and all of that shit. I was thinking about going and getting some foxes, or not foxes, wolves. Come on, Loxy. Come on, big boy. Come on. Ah, punch you in the ass. Don't run. You can fit through there. I've seen my other fat ass Lox do it. Ran. It is dark. Yeah, so I've been building on my place for like a month. And then they were still at their old place in the meadows back on our starting island way over here. So they were still back here. Where they had done, you know, build as needed kind of thing. And then... yes and no. So the wild Lox, the only thing it would have access to hit would be the doors. And my thought was I would get the Lox into the area with the other one. And then I would put stone walls on the other side of the doors so that if he does break through the wood doors, I have stone walls there. I just wanted to get it inside if possible and get it in the same pen. Hey, there's some seekers. There was... Where did it go? Like, it was just here. I guess the next question would be, are asks able to be bred outside of Ashlands? Because if they are, I would definitely bring them here to have them drop eggs and then reproduce for the sake of farming their hides and meats and whatnot. Because if they can grow here, then that saves me, you know, one type of effort. I go put this shit down. Okay, yeah, that'd be good, having them breed here and not having to go back to the Ashlands every time. It took me like a week, I think, to stop calling Ashlands Firelands because it's on fire, and in World of Warcraft there is Firelands, and so like that was a tough one to get used to. Just like you do. Okay, so those guys are going to save me 2 ask eggs so that I can get my own breeding farm going. So that's nice of them. Gotta bring sap in here. The emptiness machine. The emptiness machine. So do you prefer Void or Vanguard, or Void Vanguard, the whole thing? And then also, I looked at your channel. Is it just you making content on your channel, or is it you and a buddy? Or was that just like a not one-time thing, but like a special thing that you were doing, kind of co-streaming together? Under my skin, I have black cheek. Yeah, so the explodey blob dudes, I've been calling this proustite powder. I've been calling it prostitute powder because the first time I read it, I did see the word and went, oh, prostitute, that can't be right. And I like read it a little bit more closely to actually be like, oh, prostite. But it doesn't make sense calling it anything other than prostitute powder now. And treasure, needle nose, Dorfi. That's extra Dorfi. Gotcha. Yeah, I was looking at your channel. It looks like you do a lot of stuff from the gym too. Oh. Good, good, good. This vine, I started here. It is growing across the length of this, thankfully. This has all got that stupid stone that nothing can grow on. So I might have to, like, do something else here to just occupy that portion of it. But I want this vine to cover as much as possible. And then this one's growing pretty well now too. That's good. I wanted this. I wanted it to grow up like a trellis. This one doesn't look like it's growing quite as much, so I might need to raise dirt up to that point and then replant. I just thought it'd be cool if it was just a trellis over here. Where does it at? boop that out. Because I think that's fine now. Yeah, I think that looks good. I was trying to make this look like a sewer drain. I've got some vine berries on the back wall, but I've got the green ivy going for all of this area already, so I didn't want to like mix and blend. And I think that the green looks a little bit nicer for what this is, but I think when I go to do the stone and Grostine ones, because the Grostine roofs are this reddish color, I think that the vine berries growing on stone walls with the red roof will look very good. All right, Ian. Yeah, in terms of the functionality of the growth of them, vines seem confused sometimes. Like this. This one, I think, is in the way of this one growing wider. So, like, knock it out of the way and then wait for it to grow again. Oh, I guess, you know what? That's something I could do. I could get some more loxhide and put in some rugs in here. I feel like that's a lot of random little details, though. I gotta figure out... I've got enough of the wall built that I'm relatively safe from monsters coming in from the outside. I should probably just go try and find a lox and bring it in so that I can have lox breeding while I'm running around doing things. Because if I get them breeding, then I can get that stash of lox hides up more. Let me go drop this. I'll bring some stone with me so that I've got it. Because I'll just stone in the area. Yeah, I didn't do too much with the vine berries. I mean, they're growing and I've got a couple stacks of berries already, but I put them on the back wall here. My thought was to just let them stay in the area that they are here, but that I wanted to make just a wooden walkway from here that cuts straight across so that way I have a second layer to reach the other upper berries from, because right now I'm just, you know, what I can reach from down here. Fuck you, Skeeto. I have too many ideas and not enough hours to do them all. So it's very much going to be a long time coming to get to that point kind of thing. Come here. Come on. Try to fuck me. Really? Walking on the stone fucks it up? Really? You can't walk through that space? Are you kidding me? You can't walk through there? Come on. Come on, big guy. Wow. Okay, Void. I'll be here. Come on, big guy. Come on. I'll go get my hook. Maybe if I've got my hook, I can pull them through. Oh, come on, dude. Get in here. And I'm chilling on her bus. Nappany. Living like a rock star. Hotel rooms. Wow. I took down the doors briefly to get that locks through, and it like immediately said, "Hey dwarfs, come on in." Oh, okay. I'm just putting in a bunch of extra stones to ensure if he does break anything that he's not going anywhere. You know what? Actually, let's maybe raise some dirt as a safety point. There. Now that's extra safe. And I guess we probably want to do over here too in front of the door. There we go. Alright, and then I should flood it with extra food. Alright, find all the places to put all the things. Meats, berries, dwarf eye. Hole. Boy. Ooh. Okay, let's stock this up the rest of the way. Okay, I think upgrading these just added a little bit of armor, which is like useful, but not as useful as the damage output gained from upgrading salves. This is like the rare situation where I wish I had 4 blast furnace because I actually got stocked up on metals. Don't really want 4 blast furnaces, but it would be nice to just burn through crafting all of this stuff. I'm gonna go get the one other stone I know where it is, or a skull. Taped over your scribble that truth with their little spies. Alright, where am I? Here. Okay, so there's outposts, swords, outposts. There's one more skull up here. Far away. Nope, I didn't bring a wisp with me, and I ought to have. That never happened. Guess I'm human again. Let's be more than this. Oh yeah, I agree. I do wish there was more use of black metal. I would say honestly, it would be kind of cool if they gave us like an alchemy station, a transmute station. So you know how like we get the Black Forge and we get all of these other things? It'd be cool if once you've got the Black Forge learned and you're in Ashlands, is if they gave you a transmute station where you could transmute certain metals into other metals at various ratios. Maybe not turning, you know, iron and copper into things, but maybe downgrading them to older tiers. So like maybe one black metal can be worth 2 bronze. Maybe one flaw metal could be worth 3 bronze or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that'd be cool if you could downgrade those things through transmutation. Because like silver, I collected silver not one day, but like one boat of silver ore. I collected one boat of silver ore thinking, yeah, I'll need a bunch of silver. I didn't need a bunch of silver. I have so much silver that I can't make use of because I just don't need as much silver as I have. Cancel that. Oh. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to be able to make more use of stuff, but also like the physical items, I guess, like the models, the things that you can build, the stuff that you can build with Grosstein. I'm a little disappointed that they don't give you, I'm not a little, I'm very disappointed that we didn't get those options with stone and like the shapes, right? Like give us a big 4-meter wall that has a window in it already, so that we aren't, you know, destroying our structural integrity to remove a wall piece to make space. Yeah, because like when I got to Grosstein, I was like, oh my god. If Grosstein is easy to get, I am going to build everything with Grosstein. And while I do want to, stone is so easy to get because of dwarf farms. I can AFK and get as much stone as I want forever. And there's no option for an AFK collection of Grosstein. So I'm still going to use stone, but I'm going to design stuff in a way that I can incorporate the two of them together to make stuff. Yeah, there's definitely some things that like the snap points don't always make sense. Thankfully, I did get the gizmo mod that lets you have X, Y, and Z for rotational options, which is really nice because you're not stuck with just, you know, spinning the object on its, I don't remember which axes is which, but you're not just stuck spinning it on its current axis. They give you the opportunity to flip it on its side, upside down, whatever. I would say that it's well worth it, because when you get something like, imagine you wanted to build something that looked weird, interesting, whatever. You can rotate stairs up to be upside down and then plant them. As long as the way that you're placing them, they're still structurally sound, right? Because stairs are a little picky, but you can do whatever you want with it. Which will be nice if and when I want to build something. Like imagine getting to take this and then flip it upside down to where now it's the under piece of something, if you wanted it to be, to, you know, change how it's doing its thing entirely. So I think it's great to have that option available. I've got the dig site marked already. The if you do get that comfy gizmo mod, if you get that, I also do highly recommend this other one that is config manager or configuration manager. It lets you go in and change all of the config files like live in game. I'm not sure what it does, but it lets you edit them in game, even though normally you'd have to like restart the game. There should be a skull here. There, she blows, and you're in a mountain. Yeah, I think it's called Configuration Manager. R2, let's see, config. Yeah, Configuration Manager. Yeah, so it lets you modify the configurations. Shit, there's one of those roots running through there. It lets you modify them in game, and then if you get the gizmo one, there is a setting. By default, the V key changes, like it resets some of the rotation, but there's an option for resetting all rotation. I'm not sure what it means by like some rotation, but you saw how like So if I twist this piece up, holding shift is one modifier, alt is another modifier, and I think shift alt control? No. Oh, regular. Without anything pressed is one modifier to scroll wheel. Holding alt is one, and then holding shift is one. So if I rotate a piece weird like this, and then I switch to something else, it's holding that rotation for me. So I set it to V, where it resets every rotation on that item so that I can go back to the default to work from. I'm not going to be able to get all the soft tissue out of this because I've cut the dirt down as far as I can here, and it's going to be in the dirt still. I forgot that I grabbed some cottage cheese with breakfast. Not as good when it's not super cold, but that's all right. That was really bad luck that this is tucked into a tall piece of terrain and has one of the roots running through it that I can't break. This was, I gotta say, this was like a super creative twist. I imagine that these bodies are something similar to like Titans, where they're the giant creatures from before humans. And so to have them exist here in Valheim, in this purgatory land, and then the remnants of them where you're gathering material from them that you can then use to turn into magical stuff, like that's wild to come up with that. Oh, I forgot. I gotta take out chicken legs for dinner. I wish this would have popped. Like that. Yeah, ancient root and the hillside through that skull is a real bitch. Well, there's another 36 though, so that should go a good distance towards my staff upgrades. I have Discord. I have not yet set up a like community Discord space yet. It's one of those like I have a Discord that I've used for myself and some friends for years now. And so I was thinking about retooling that to just be my stream Discord. I just haven't done it. I find myself in a hard place of not having the time to do all the things I should do and all the things I want to do. So like, I've got like probably 30 or 40 hours of video that I've recorded that I intend on sorting through for editing to put together some longer stuff and some shorts. I wanted to... I want to have like coherent videos of the progress of the build while also trying to, you know, grab highlights of the small things that make sense, the shorts. I'm not great at editing, and I'm also like learning all of this stuff and trying to figure out like the best way of doing things. Yeah, I feel that. So like for shorts, for example, right now my best performing short that I've posted out of about a dozen or so shorts that I've made over the last month, out of about a dozen of them, there's probably been 2 that performed particularly well, and they were both more heavily edited. And so it's that I'm curious, is part of why they're performing well, like I know that part of what makes a video perform well is like, one, you have to have tags that are relevant in order to come up in the algorithm for people scrolling. But 2, retention. The more retention a video has, the more likely it is to come up in someone else's feed. So I figured that at the very least, a portion of why these 2 particular ones are performing so well, at least a portion of it, is due to the editing. And that's, when I say heavily edited, I mean like I added in a lot of like trending audio clips or funny things that are pop culturally related. Yeah, exactly. You got to get their attention in the first 2 seconds. Yeah, so like I was like trying to open with my like logo and name, and I'm going to retool that so that it has that on screen in the opener, but like more small and off to the side, and have it show my name throughout the entire short, whether my camera's in it or not. One of the videos I did was like kind of a bit of a spoofy bit off of Starship Troopers. So the whole like, you know, the only good bug's a dead bug, that whole bit. So I took sound bites from all of that in order to put this video together. And the video is just me dying to a Jal and a death mosquito and a tick, like all within 3 minutes of one another. A Jal hit me with fire, and then a mosquito stabbed me when I was at like 5 health in the water putting out the fire. And then when I was in my base and going to go get all my shit, a tick jumped on me. So it's really only like 30 seconds of gameplay, but it's that combination of things, right? Yeah, and it's a Valheim moment. So like anybody that has played Valheim, they feel you in it, and that's great. But I think all of the sound, the sound bites, I think all of those are a big part of why it's performing so well. I think on Facebook that's at like 800 views, but on TikTok it's over 5,000 now, I think, or around 5,000. And then the, yeah, exactly. Death by tree. Everybody's experienced it at least once if you've got, you know, a dozen hours in the game. So the other one was the first time I got raided by Ashlands monsters, and they did the portals, the obelisks that they resummon off of. The first time I encountered one of those, I died like 15 times over the course of like 4 hours. And I made basically a minute-long clip of me dying over and over and over again, but I included some of the classic trending audio for, like, you know, the oof noises and those kinds of things, and then like the Windows computer shutting off noise, that kind of stuff. And so I think that that's one of those things. Yeah. So I keep getting advertised for eclipse.gg, and I understand why an AI tool might do a good job in Call of Duty clips, PUBG, Escape from Tarkov, things where it can detect that you got a kill, you know, you ended a different player's time in the game. I think that that's easier for the AI to detect, while some of the stuff in Valheim is not that clear. Like, yeah, maybe you dying is something that AI can detect pretty easily, but I wouldn't say that it's something that, like, stands out in the same way as FPS games. I've been using DaVinci for editing so far, and I know that they have some stuff built in as like AI function, but I haven't done anything with it yet. Right now, I was recently, literally just this last few days, making changes to how I was processing the footage to try and improve the speed at getting through things and flagging stuff that's relevant. But I'm also trying to figure out, like, some of the stuff I've posted that's the longer form stuff of my Valheim build and the process. I'm trying to find that happy middle ground of, I want to include all of the footage that's relevant to, I don't know, say building the mage tower, right? Like, I want to show the process that I went through in that, but part of it, and this is probably what I should do, I should probably save the recording of the building, the physical structure, and then save that, and then wait until I've got the next part and the next part and the next part until I've got a finished build, and then take like bits and pieces of all of it and combine that into, you know, an end result of a full clip of the build. But I don't know how to sit on footage for that long and still have it make sense in the end. Because I'm very much sitting here like, okay, well, I should probably go through this 3 hours of me building a tower and turn it into, you know, a 10-minute clip. But for me to turn 3 hours into a 10-minute clip means, you know, a few seconds of footage at regular speed of me building, and then a lot of stuff at 500% speed if I want to include it. Otherwise, it's like, here's me starting the build, and I go, you know, place a block, place a block, place a block, and then fade to black, and then fade back into the completed build or something. You know what I mean? Like, because otherwise, you can't fit 12 hours of work into a 10-minute video, or also the audience retention is going to be not great. I think the exception to that is people that are already watching every bit of content from a creator. I think that those are going to have decent retention to them compared to, you know, somebody starting out making videos. I used to watch a lot of Minecraft guys back when I played Minecraft more 15 years ago, you know, something like that. I was one of the things that I played the most back then. And a common thing that a lot of the creators would do is would take a there's a mod that lets you do it, but also back in the day, they're without the mod, they would have a second account. They'd have that character sitting off in a corner to be like a camera view, and they would record while they're digging. And they'll record the whole thing, and it might be, you know, 2 hours of them digging and cutting and breaking building blocks, the whole thing. And then for the time lapse, they're discussing their plans in the time lapse about, you know, what they want to do with their build or what's coming next, or even something unrelated to Minecraft, but just like story time about real life kind of thing. And so those guys, they have great retention on their videos that are videos where they include a full time-lapse stuff. Yeah, so it's trying to find that balance of including enough of the content for people to be like, yeah, this looks great, and then not so much of it for people to be like, why is he showing all of this? So trying to find that balance and putting all of that together is tricky. And it's also like, I'm only using 3 minutes of 12 hours of footage or whatever, where it's like, damn, all of this recording for nothing. So it's trying to find those and keep it relevant, but also like, I'm not sure how long the longer form videos should even be. Should they be 10 minutes of like, I guess maybe it would depend on the structure, but I guess also like a part of it might be put together the videos, aim for 10 to 15 minutes, and then watch and see what the metrics record for audience retention after the fact, so that, you know, you're taking that into account. Because like one of the things I was looking at yesterday was the viewership hours of Valheim on Twitch. Peak hours, 5 a.m. Pacific time. I'm not up at 5 a.m. There's no way that I could ever get my insomnia issues under control enough to go to sleep early enough to try and stream for a couple hours at 5 a.m. before, before my kids have to go to school and all of that. So if I wanted to go the peak viewership hours of Valheim, I'd have to go 5 a.m., but can't do that. That's not viable. But then I look at the other option, and midnight has an average of, an average that's a bit higher, while like 3 p.m. my time is the lowest. So like 3 p.m. Pacific time is the lowest average viewership on a Monday, but it looks like throughout the whole week 3 p.m. is the lowest. And then Sunday, it looks like viewership on Sunday is pretty much all straight across the board. And this is viewers per channel averaging is what they're talking about. So the highest is 5 a.m., but it looks like midnight has a really good opportunity for it, where there's an average number of viewership of 22 per channel that's live. So that's making me think maybe at least while I'm doing Valheim, maybe I shift my schedule and I stream until noon when I go to pick up my kid. And then I can spend the rest of the afternoon and the day working on footage and whatnot. And then usually kids are in bed, my wife is asleep by about like 10 o'clock Pacific time. And that's like on the uptick for viewership numbers for Valheim on Twitch. So if I got on every day from 8 a.m. to noon or 8:30 to noon, and then separately again got on from around 10 or 10:30 until 12:30, 1 a.m., I would be hitting a larger potential viewership ratio that, you know, could increase the odds of being seen by people. So it's one of those things that, like, the numbers are really interesting to look at, but also having to, like, think about it. Yeah, so for Friday, Pacific time, from midnight, there's an average of 19 viewers per channel. So it's the total number of viewers in the category divided across the number of active streams in there. And it is climbing and climbing and climbing until it peaks on this. So this says Friday. So this would be 0 Friday. That means Thursday night, midnight. It'll start climbing until 10 a.m. Friday morning, where it starts to drop Pacific time. And then it declines down until Friday night, 9 p.m. And then if you go from Friday night, midnight, rolling into midnight, rolling into 0 Saturday, for Pacific time, you're at 14 viewers per channel, and then it climbs up by 5 a.m. to as many as 23 per channel. But it looks like Sunday is big viewership. So Saturday night up to midnight, leading into Sunday, you're at 13 per channel, and then it goes up, but then it stays kind of steady. It looks like maybe there's less channels active on Sundays. It's weird to look at. It's in the research section of analytics in the stream tools. You can look at the graphs and see. So it's kind of interesting to see what the numbers look like in all of that. And then the same kind of thing I've been doing. I've been cross-posting everything that I post. So it goes up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. So for Sunday, it does look like there's less total viewers throughout the day, but also that there's less total channels. So it's sitting at an average of 12 viewers per channel throughout the entire day of Sunday, while every other day is 16 to 19 viewers on average throughout the day per channel. So it might just be that Sunday there's similar numbers of viewers but less channels throughout the day, but it's more like it's a steady set of hours. It might just be because Sunday's a day off for everybody, or for most people. I don't know, it's weird. It's interesting to look at the numbers, but it's also complicated. And then you have to try and, for your own sake and for viewership's sake, you do end up having to consider, like, what is your schedule and what do you want your schedule to be at the end of the day. Like, if it'd be great if I could have any income from this, just so that I'm not, just a stay-at-home dad. If I'm able to bring in an income from it, that'd be great. But I'm not like super banking on that. It'd just be great if I could. So, like, having to consider what would my schedule be if I could make money off of this. What kind of schedule could I sustain? Well, I can't sustain late nights going until 2 or 3 a.m. I could do it temporarily, but I wouldn't be able to sustain that because kids, and I need to sleep. Like, I don't, like the human body, I already usually only get like 5 hours as it is. Oh yeah, exactly, for sure. You don't want to do burnout, but there's also that, there sometimes I'm of the mindset that no one in a first world country in America, no one should have to grind the way that a lot of people do just to get by, let alone get ahead. I don't think that it's like goals to be like, well, I work 3 jobs in order to, make a living. And it's like, that's great that you've got that ability and determination to do that. But that's not something that should have to happen. Anyone who works 40 hours a week, and even then, I think that there's something to be said for the 4-day work week. But if you're working 40 hours a week, you should be able to live perfectly fine, relatively comfortable, buy a house, have a car you're paying for, have, modern amenities. Maybe you go on a vacation or 2 every year for the weekend or for a week. That makes sense to me. And if you want to grind harder than that, by all means. But it's like with streaming, you don't want to burn out, but also at the same time, some of the people out there that are doing 60 hours of streaming every week, which is a lot, but they're doing 60 hours a week because they know that they're doing it short term in order to try and build an audience so that they can back it down to a 30-hour a week thing, find those better hours. And if you've got your open schedule that would allow for that, then go for it. If your schedule gives you the freedom to do so. For me, if this turned into something where I could viably do it, then, and like if I was making money or something, if I was making a moderate amount of money, then it might turn into something where I've got to get like a babysitter who can bring kids home from school and whatnot so that I could stream. And that'd be perfectly fine because this is my garage. I've partially converted my garage to be a gaming room, but that's also why, like, if I'm streaming on the weekends, you can hear all of the everything that goes on in the house with 3 kids, 2 parents, and 2 grandparents currently living in it. It's a whole other story of its own, but the weekend streams are definitely more chaotic at times in the essence of how loud it can be. Yeah, it'd be great. And I was looking at it and like the numbers are kind of rough when you think about it, because you think like, oh yeah, if you can get a couple hundred people watching you all the time, then you're good to go. But when you look at the numbers and like, if you're on Twitch and you've just got the generic ratio, assuming that you're partnered and can get subs or whatever, if you're getting $2.50 for every sub and you've got 100 people subbing to you, that's only $250 a month. And you can imagine that a person who has that viewership and those subs is probably streaming nearly full time or has been doing it for years and has a pretty good handle on it, but is probably streaming 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. So an extra 20 hours of work in order to get $250 a month. And so obviously the goal would be to get higher than that. I live in California. If I was still working in tech, hey Rubino, on Twitch, if you're getting 2 regular viewers, you're in the top 10%. I don't know that that's the case. I mean, I guess maybe the top 10%, but I don't feel like it. Well, okay. So I feel like that has got to be a misconstrued number, because if you think about the number of Twitch accounts that exist and then the number of them that have gone live ever, and then you compare that to the number of people who go live a couple times a week, I would say that a person should only be considered in that data, that criteria, if they're streaming like 12 hours a week. Because if you're, in my brain, if you're not streaming like 12 hours a week, you are just doing it as a part-time hobby. Like, you know what I mean? So like, it's a very small portion of time, rather than like, if I stick to this 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, that's 20 hours. And that's with me not getting on in the evening. And I feel like that's still a pretty good time investment. And while, yeah, most people are streaming to no one, my thoughts are along the lines of like, how many people stream for a bit and then don't stream? Like I did a couple months of streaming pretty consistently of 4 or 5 hours at a time, you know, most of the days of the week. And I did that for several months and then I stopped. My Twitch account would still, you know, have registered, having had viewers in that year. So it's one of those that all depends on the range of time we're looking at to know for sure. So top 10%, I don't know. Maybe it's the top 10%, but I feel like that's looking at all people streaming over like all time. And I know that, like, you know, obviously not everybody is going to be like Dr. Disrespect in the numbers that he put up, or Tyler One, or Ninja, or, you know what I mean? Like, obviously those are Burnt Peanut right now is huge. So like, obviously those are very like niche cases, very, very top of the market thing. But there are a bunch of other people like I that I'm curious about it. I would like to see what the numbers actually look like in terms of say 1,000 subscribers. If you are getting 1,000 subscribers working full time, you're getting roughly $2,500 a month, maybe a little bit more if you're in one of the programs that can get you slightly higher numbers for your cut. But not like $2,500 a month is a huge amount, but it's not nothing. It is a part-time job value, basically. So like, if you're at 1,000 subs or more, you could potentially, you know, shift gears and go full time and, you know, maybe double that. Because if you double that, I feel like you're pretty well off if you were to double that. So I'm curious what the metrics actually are for that. Twitch tracker, Steam charts, Social Blade. Oh, see, Jinxie with 96,000 active subs currently. Granted, 28,000 of those are Prime membership subs, but still, that's a lot. That is a lot. I am curious about like how, like, what's the number of streamers that have over, let's say 2,000 subscribers. Because if you have 2,000 subscribers or more, you're probably doing it full time and pretty well off. Yeah. Okay, so this, I'm looking at one of the social pages and I'm trying to check. Okay, yeah. So the numbers are not as bad as you might expect. Okay, so I got to about 1,000th place. So the 1,000th top streamer, and this is still just, this is active subs based on a May subscription of this year. So people who had someone hit subscribe or resubscribe this month of this year, if you look at the person in 1,000th place, so 1,000 people are doing better than her in terms of just subscribership number on Twitch. And Twitch alone, she has 906 subs from Twitch users. And that's for the 1,000th place person. So that is kind of crazy to consider when I'm curious. Let's see. Twitch 2026. How many streamers over 20 hours a week? Let's see if there's something that shows that. So one of the numbers here says that there are 7 to 8 million active creators on Twitch at any given time based on numbers from last year. But it says that only 1% of those individuals are considered to be doing that at a dedicated full-time or nearly full-time basis. So that's 70 to 80,000 people, give or take. Says that only affiliates and partners are incentivized to, because of the audience retention and the way that the profits exist. It says that only affiliates and partners, which is only 160,000 total creators that are considered affiliates or partners, out of the 160,000 people, or out of 8 million accounts, only 160,000 people are in the affiliate or partner programs, and they're potentially making enough money doing this full time or nearly full time. So this says that while there are millions of different channels that go live every month, the vast majority of them will treat the platform as a casual hobby and produce less than 10 hours a month of broadcast time. That's interesting stuff. So, yeah, so my thought was like, how many hours would it take for me to be able to be like, yeah, that's my job, and like not be calling it a hobby, but be calling it a job? Oops, let me go get the eats here. So it's interesting to see the numbers, but to know that the person who is in the 1,000th top streamer in terms of just subscribers on Twitch only, and most people are cross-platformed, and then donations are a thing, and the bits, and so like there's all sorts of different stuff, and then there's merch that people do. So like there's so many different avenues that people are using to make money, and then that's not even including what their numbers are through other platforms when they get viewership through TikTok and YouTube and whatever else, and then if they get any sponsorships and stuff, which that's why I wanted to start with everything that I could at the same time, so that I would be in a better position if I start making anything out of it. So while streaming to Twitch, I am streaming also to YouTube and also to Kick. And I haven't gone to figure it out yet, but I I was going to start doing Instagram and TikTok also. I just haven't sat down to do it because I, am behind in hours of editing that I intend on putting together in order to make more shorts. But like, it's interesting to see the numbers on shorts and like trying to compile enough short content to be able to post something like every day or every other day would be great. But also, I assume you're also cross posting things. So right now I'm using Buffer, the website, as my cross-posting platform. It's free for 3 accounts, and if you want to expand beyond 3 accounts to cross-post to, then it would cost, whatever yearly amount based on the number of things. TikTok I haven't really looked into other than seeing that there's a studio creator thing for Kick. Kick is weird. My first 2 weeks streaming, I had all sorts of viewership coming through on Kick with, I had a lot of bots come through on Kick, and I had a few real life people come through on Kick that like I knew that they were actual people with how they were talking. But I feel like the issue on Kick right now, at least, is that people aren't going there to watch people play Valheim, at least. I don't know what stuff other than IRL things are doing really well on Kick, but I know it does seem as though there's not people going to Kick in order to watch people on Kick for Valheim specifically, at least. Buffer has been great. It was a little weird to get used to, but it lets you cross post, do different things using the same couple tools. Here. So you go to new and you can do a post, and then you can upload the content here and then start writing, whatever the information will be for it, and then add in hashtags, whatever. If you pay for the actual services with Buffer, they have a like hashtag assistant that'll help you add in hashtags. So you can create tags to help you like find your content later down the line if you want to like look at how all your Valheim videos are doing, or how all your Tarkov videos or PUBG or whatever you're doing. So you add it, you do the thing, you go to the next page, and then you'd be customizing for each one, where you can like choose thumbnail from the image or make any customizations that you might need for the specific post on the specific platform. And then for posting, you can either tell it to go live now or next available, where you can basically queue content based on a calendar to get posted as needed. So this thing for Instagram, it helped me generate a time based on what it recommends, based on its analytics for like viewership numbers. So if you look at its recommended times, it will put them all in the calendar for you and create time slots. So when you're publishing something and it says next available, it means the time slot for Instagram, the next time slot for TikTok or Facebook, whatever. So it's pretty cool that it does that, and then you can customize the the times further if you want to. And then they do have some analytics in here for helping with viewership. And then they also have like the community section is when people are commenting, you can go here to write comments back more easily. So I already replied to this through the TikTok app, but as far as it knows, you know, on Buffer, I didn't go in and respond. But I did go through the TikTok app and respond to those. But it's cool that it lets you have all of that stuff. For TikTok Studio is needed until you can get it. Okay, so yeah, so for TikTok Studio, the thing that I found out when I was looking it up, you install TikTok Studio, and inside OBS you can generate a virtual camera that shows your whole stream canvas. And then you take that vertical canvas that you're looking at and have it go to the TikTok Studio. So you go live in OBS and then you go over to TikTok and hit your live button on there, and you'll be able to go live in both places, all with the same one bit of content or the one canvas that you're working from. I just haven't done it yet. I was unsure, one, if it's something that I wanted to do, but two, just like getting another thing set up. I have been considering not bothering with streaming to Kick just because I don't know that it's worth it, but at the same time, like, oh yeah, I haven't tried it with TikTok Studio at all yet. But I don't, it's one of those, like, I don't know if it's worth sending data to Kick, because technically for me, it is eating up some of my upload, and it might just be better if I didn't, because then I'm not, you know, consuming some of that upload. Not that it's, you know, a huge deal, but, it is. My upload is limited because my area, we have Comcast internet available, or Xfinity, and it's not great. I have a 50 megabit upload, and that's it. It's like hard capped at like 50, 55. So if OBS is crashing, it might be some kind of conflicting plugins. I went through tons of headaches to get things functional. Turned out that Stream Elements was causing some of the headache. Super long story short, Stream Elements was so easy to set up to get the vertical canvas working. I could multi-stream to YouTube on vertical and on horizontal, and then I was streaming also to Kick and to Twitch. There was a handful of mistakes that I was making on my own, but separately, once I got around all those mistakes, I figured out that Stream Elements has a really buggy plugin in the essence of their vertical canvas. If you try to make changes to their vertical canvas, they get fucked up. Like, it just crashes. Stream Elements is closing, like, completely. Oh, I just saw this 3 hours ago. It says, we are not shutting down. Stream Elements is in an amazing partner aligned conversation. Your tools and data are safe. We've secured funding while partner integration is underway. Okay, so I guess they're not shutting down. Interesting. I'm guessing that was announced recently that they were shut down, or that they were going to be shutting down. I'm using Stream Elements for alerts because I'm not sure what else I could use for alerts, and I didn't look into it yet about potentially using something else for alerts. Not that alerts in and of themselves are a big deal, but I know that it's something that people in general do like. You know, people like that they get to see their thing go up on screen. There's a level of reward with seeing your name flash across the screen of the creator that you're watching. So I definitely know that having the alerts active makes sense. Lumia. Interesting. So for my OBS, once I got rid, I went to the OBS Discord, and I am going to simp those guys so hard, because that was by far the best experience I've had with any support of any kind ever from anyone. So like World of Warcraft, there is a Discord basically for every different class of character. There's all sorts of different ones. Basically every class Discord for World of Warcraft is full of dickheads. There is a ton of people who are very intelligent, but very arrogant and dickish in a lot of ways. And so those guys in the class Discords make it hard to want to be there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't build one of these yet. E-tier, Ask Trophy, and Celestial Feathers. So they make it, these guys make it really hard to want to get help. And then separately, another Discord that I was in I use a specific kind of software for a server called Unraid, and there is a Discord for the software within Unraid that I was using. And again, it's that thing of like, some of the people are just such huge dickheads and so cocky and condescending. It is, well, I thought I needed 3, I need 10. It is wild that like, that they are the way that they are, and everybody's just like, yeah, sure. Like everybody's just okay with it, and it's insane to me. And so, when I went to the OBS Discord and I was looking into, you know, what do I was basically like, I'm trying to do this, but I keep crashing. I'm not sure where my issues are coming from. I could use some help if anybody might know what I could do differently here. And so they were like, okay, so start from the scratch. And I was like, okay, this is all the things that I've tried. This is what I'm doing. This is what's not working. I don't know what to do. And so I explained the whole situation of like what was working, what wasn't working. And they were so amazing. They explained the different things, and they took the time to explain it. Not just like, well, you're doing it wrong, dummy. You know, not just like that kind of thing. Not like, oh yeah, you're stupid. Like, they didn't make me feel dumb about it. They didn't make me feel dumb for asking questions. I was so pleased with the results of those conversations that I basically have told everybody about it now. Great people in there. For sure, great people. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. One of the best experiences at getting any level of support I've ever had. I need to go farm Yggdrasil wood because I just don't have enough. 6 cores. I need 2 more cores. Yeah, I mean, so my OBS I'm very happy with now. I got ADEM installed and running, and it seems to be doing everything. Yeah, so it was a lot, and then I learned a lot, and there was stuff that like I wasn't even there to ask questions about, but I was able to learn about, and so then it's like, oh, this is new information to me. This actually helps a lot because, you know, I was doing this other thing wrong and I didn't know it. So like super useful things. So they helped me. Unbeknownst to them, they didn't realize that I needed help with it, but they helped me set up my, my whatchamacallit, my encoder settings, because I didn't realize I was doing it wrong. And so essentially I came in with the, hey, I'm trying to record 3 different sources separately, my regular stream, but then my game and camera on their own individual recordings. But no matter what I do, it seems to bog down my computer, even though I've got a really strong system. Like, I'm not sure what to do. Can you guys help? And they were like immediately, oh yeah, well then check this, encoder settings. And then they just kind of kept pointing me in the right direction to make these changes, and a massive change. I went from a system that was lagging, trying to record 2 bits of gameplay at the same time, to a like flawless thing that is recording 3 different things while doing it in higher quality and streaming to 3 different services, four different locations at once, because 2 to YouTube, 1 to Kick, 1 to Twitch. So like doing all of that all at the same time is wild. And I even thought about recording my vertical feed so that I could potentially more easily make vertical content using that with it built in. But then I was like, if I record the gameplay and I record the camera and I'm already editing for regular content, I can probably just put the camera on top and have the graphic there and be fine. So yeah, it took a bit to get everything set up, but they were amazing. So now my OBS does what I want it to do. The only things that are wonky everywhere from my understanding, like YouTube. I don't always get a notification when someone subscribes. My understanding is that there's some weirdness with YouTube's API and its willingness to give the information to any other service. It is not willing to just up and give that information out. And then also separately, some people have their YouTube subscriptions on silent so that it doesn't broadcast to anyone or anything who its subscribers are, which means that when you subscribe to somebody who's live streaming, it doesn't say anything about it. It doesn't tell anyone. It doesn't create a notification of any kind. It just happens, and then that's it. So it's one of those, like, there is some stuff that just doesn't seem consistent no matter what you do. But it's all working great now. So I'm using ADEM plugin. I'm using ADEM Stream Suite plugin that includes vertical. And so I've got a vertical feed up, and then I've got all of my scenes or my regular horizontal canvas. And then I linked all of my vertical scenes to my horizontal ones so that whenever I swap scenes, I only have to do it in one location, and it changes the other one for me. The only annoyance that I've had with using ADEM or any other multi-stream output system that wasn't Stream Elements. Stream Elements, their software, I couldn't edit the canvas without it crashing. Like any changes I made to the vertical canvas, shit would crash. But if I wanted to go live on YouTube, Twitch, everything all at the same time, it would take the desire for me to go live to vertical and horizontal on YouTube. It would take that desire and it would send a scheduling notice to YouTube in order to schedule the two separate events for the two separate keys, the stream keys. And then from there, you would, go live immediately on those two things. Instead, now with ATEM and any multi-streaming service, you have to manually put in your schedule on YouTube for your different streams. It's the only thing that's bad about this, and it's not that big of a deal. Like it's not great, but it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, much better than what it was before. Okay, so I think basement wise, I definitely want to decorate this at some point, but I can't figure out what I want to do next. So you should be able to generate it. I don't think anything I'm doing needs to be hidden, but if you go to go live, if you go to just the stream tab up here, in this drop down menu, like when you're not actively live, you can go here to manage or create a key. And then when you go to scheduling, you'd have the option to choose a different key. All right, Void. It was good talking to you. All the random stuff that we went over. Maybe I should do a board of like things that I want to do to finish this district. That might be a good idea. Honestly, this is looking so nice. Feels like walking through a city. Like it actually feels like walking through a city. So I'm looking forward to building the other district and having a lot more like businesses. Okay, let me grab some coal and some wood. It's so funny how the texture can screw up the visibility of signs so easily. Grab a little more wood because I didn't expect to use all that wood making just a few signs. Okay, so we'll call them turrets. let's see, oceanfront house, that, six. Garrison. 7. Decorate the basement further. 8. Portal room in-house. Let's see, what else? See, in this district, I've got the farm building. I've got plans for the walls, the water walkway, the turrets will be like the corner posts of the walls. Decorating the basement is one aspect of itself that needs to happen. I need to put in a dock. I'm sure there's other things that I can't think of right now that I definitely want to do. I definitely want to decorate the basement more and make it feel nicer. I don't know what I want to do for lunch, and excuse me, God, I am feeling much hungrier than I usually am at lunchtime. But I think that's because I ate some breakfast, and I usually don't eat breakfast. I think the eating a little bit got my stomach inspired. Like, hey, this is what food is. You want some? I think I want to get... we have a mountain on this island. I think I want to go get some wolves. It would be nice also if I could bring boars here, but I don't know a way to viably get boars on a boat and then get them across the ocean. And there's no meadow on this entire island. Oh, I don't have any more coal on my person. Okay, so this is long-term goals for this district only. Possibly include a wolf pen. I don't know. I mean, I might have other like random thoughts of things to do decoration wise, but I feel like these buildings that I've completed are all pretty good. What the fuck is it called? The little hut thing, not a hut, a covered area. the fuck is it called? Stall. Gotta do the last stall. We do a gazebo over there and a bonfire area, I think. Ooh. Might include a graveyard. Using this stone, I could definitely make some crosses. And this looks like a tombstone on its own already, just a generic tombstone. Cause my head is enough of a drive, I'm sorry, but it's too late. And it's worth saving. They'll leave a light on. I'm coming home. We're not very young. Fucking pause and I feel like so come rain on my parade. So come rain on my parade. I think we're due. I think we're due. No way back. Alright, I'm not sure what else I would want to include. I think what I want to do is make sure that the wall is fully built first before trying to decorate or plan where the next turrets might go. I probably also need to make a short goals thing. So that I don't forget stuff that I'm actively trying to work on. Yeah, we're going to leave the big goals there, and then we need a to-do list that's more easy to see. Let's see what my berry situation is like for foraged goods. Um, raspberries, blueberries, red mushrooms. Smoke puff. Tame wolves. Silwood, ashwood, red gems. You'll find me in the same spot you're leaving. I never thought my life turns upside down. That right when I was wrong, and this will be the downfall of us all. Smelt the ores. The Kildare. Oh, get barrel. Oops. The list of short-term goals is a rather long one. Be the downfall of us all. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I need bloodstones and the agricilli wood. I could probably get rid of this table with the banquets on it because I'm not eating from the banquets these days. And it's just kind of created an obstacle to run around. This is what I brought, you may forget me. Promise you my heart, just promise one thing. Kiss my eyes and sleep. This is what I brought. I thought you need me. Yeah, let's do that. I'm honestly just not using feasts. I don't even remember what goes into making the other feast. Let's see, Black Forest, meadows, mountain, swamp. Did I ever learn it? I don't know. Oh, nope, that's uncooked meat platter. So I have right now I have my melee gear on. So usually what I do is when I'm building, I keep all of my melee gear on because I can run stamina and survive. But I've been, every time I go to Ashlands lately, I've been doing mage armor. Just trying to get used to it. I had never done mage gear up until literally the last couple weeks. So it's all been new to me. You get it once you buy the herbs at the witch. So I've bought herbs from the witch and I've made other ones, but I don't know. So some of the things are you have to have crafted certain things. So like, for example, meats. I haven't necessarily cooked every raw meat. Like made a cooked version of it once. And some of the stuff requires you to have cooked a thing already. But I don't see whatever the Mistlands feast is. Unbaked lox pie. Let me, you know what? Google knows. Valheim, Mistlands feast. It is mushrooms galore a la Mistlands. So the issue is that I have never made a Yggdrasil porridge, is what it looks like. So I bet if I make one of these, boink, right there. I bet if I make one of these, I'll learn the recipe and then be good to go. I don't know. Oh, it gives you 65 health, 65 stamina, and 33 E tier. That's not bad. But I don't know that I would use it compared to just using like a honey glazed and 2 big E tier foods. I've been using the marinated greens and sizzling berry broth or the seeker porridge. This one. Seeker aspic, just because I had so much seeker meat. It was so cheap to make. So I've been running 2 E tier foods and a health food when I'm playing as a mage. But when I'm at my base, I found that I can't run from place to place building if I don't do a bunch of stamina food. So I felt that the easiest thing was to keep my melee set on whenever I'm building, and then only swap as needed to go to the Mistlands. Or not Mistlands, Ashlands. And then when I went to Mistlands a little while ago to get more soft tissue, I knew that I was going to be using a pickaxe to get the soft tissue, so I stayed with my melee set in order to, you know, help that along, you know, make sure that I've got enough stamina to actually hit stuff and not, you know, be hurting afterwards. Yeah, being a mage has been honestly really exciting because it's a lot of kiting, which I enjoy because I used to play kite classes on EverQuest and World of Warcraft back in the day. So, you know, it's like a walk down memory lane sort of. So that's been fun and interesting. Yes, we'll do that one there. Yeah, I was just saying the other day that I think that they could do mage stuff slightly better, but also at the same time, it might be worth it for them to nerf a little bit of what you're capable of doing as a mage, just because mages really have it easy in comparison to being a meleeer. Like, really, really easy by comparison. But I was thinking, because mages don't have the stamina generally to sprint around a lot and whatnot, it might be cool if there was like 2 abilities per staff. And if they gave you a utility staff and made it to where you could like use your entire E tier bar, but that it requires at least 100 E tier, and have it give you a 60-second uses no stamina to sprint or something, right? So that you have the ability to get around more. But then also separately do something similar for having no weight issues, like, you know, being impervious to being overweight, because then you aren't, you know, moving 3 feet, becoming overweight, having to drop everything, and then, you know, do that whole thing is really tedious. So this is my wall, and I am going to be scaling it up all the way to that ridge, and then wrapping it back. I have part of it already built over there, so it's going to wrap back around, and it's going to circle the whole district that I'm working on here. I'm trying to decide. I don't know how big I am going to make my next district. This district is done. The wall is going to be what it is. I still have things to build, like a dock, and I was going to do a house out on this peninsula. So I've got a handful of things that I still need to do before I'm like done building here. But I have another district in mind that I plan on doing. I just don't know what exactly I want to do yet with it. Oh. Either I didn't have enough hit points and my block was irrelevant to that, or I missed the parry opportunity. I've always been a big fan of the parry. Come on, rested. Yeah, big ouch. But you know what they say, it do be like that sometimes. Oh no, a dead end. Whatever will I do? Shh, it's a secret. And then, boink. What? I love the secret exits and entrances. Haha, you landed in the wrong spot. See, I was a little more prepared that time. Yeah, so this was this playthrough is my first time doing the Mistlands, which I probably went into the Mistlands for the first time about a month ago. And of course that got a lot of hours and did a lot of work in there. Killed a bunch of shit. And then of course this was also my first time in Ashlands. So it's been interesting. And then this was also, again, my first time playing with magic in this game. Every other time I've always been more of a archer slash sword and board. And thank you. For the build, I have definitely spent more time building than I have exploring and killing stuff. I enjoy the building in Valheim immensely. So I've been going kind of hard with it. Everything that I need, like if all of this was destroyed, it wouldn't matter as long as the basement that I spawned in down there, as long as that basement remains, then everything I need is there. All of this stuff is purely cosmetic, just enjoy building stuff. I mean, the farm, of course, is useful, but aside from the farm, the rest of this is just flavor for me. I just enjoy building and wanted to build, you know, something fun and cool. I've got a, you're over on YouTube here. So if you if you look at my channel, I've got a, one flyby video that I did that shows the base, like flyby camera style. It shows the base, and then there should be a video that shows I made a mage quarters, like that tower over there is it's like apothecary slash mage's quarters upstairs. And then I have a bunch of recordings that I need to go through, but I've got other stuff that I've been working on with all of this. A dining hall, a kitchen for the food, and then I just built a blacksmith shop, so armor and weapons, and then I don't know what the official term, like, you know, like a person that makes arrows is a fletcher, and a person who does shoes is a cobbler. I don't know what a person is that's shipmaster or something. I don't know. People that build ships. I made an area that is in essence for them. No, don't break my vines, you son of a bitch. I think he broke some of the vines on his way down. Yeah, so I started with a small basement area that is got everything compact in it that I need. And then outside of that is just stuff that I wanted to do. Okay, now I don't know how quickly this will rise as I place these blocks to go higher. Oh, oh, oh. I need to knock out some of these stones here. So I still have plans to do... Oh shit, I just remembered, I need to make sure that the new Lox has enough food that it's gonna get tame. Damn, that stone fell down. And I just heard a blimp. There we go. Why did I just hear something that sounded like crumbling stone? Oh. This used to be stairs here. I don't remember anything getting in over here. Huh, interesting. This was because of the wild Lox. Oh, it's still mad. Oh, 33% tame. He's got food now, though. Yeah, so I've got this area that I've built in, that I've got a big base going, and then I intend on expanding into this bay over here and the area surrounding it that basically take over the whole Black Forest. Well, I mean, if the mage build is feeling too easy, then you can always just try sword and board or, you know, bow and arrow and stuff. But for me, no matter whether or not it gets easy, wow, something did a lot of destruction out here. Whether it gets easy or not, I am enjoying the building aspect, so I always have that to go back to. But I'm still learning Ashlands enough that it's not, I would say that it's not easy for me yet. Still a lot of death and, you know, learning experiences. I need to decide at some point how do I say it? I don't want the wall to look boring, so I want to dress it up in a way that it looks cool. But I'm not sure what way to do that. Not yet, at least. Big wall of mist land. So eventually this will be a taller tower structure. But I think I'm also going to build something up on top of the mountain. And I was thinking about a statue. So what did all of this random destruction? That's so weird. So I've got some of this that I've been doing. You know, these spaces with cordwood going uprights. So I'm probably going to use both What in the world? Why is all of this destroyed? What the fuck? Is there like an invisible monster here? I'm so confused right now. Windmill. Why am I not seeing windmill? Why is my brain farting? There it is. I don't have an artisan table out here. Mother father. No, the Lox is pretty far away. The Lox is way over here. But it was like, it was random destruction, right? Because there was stairs broken here. I just picked up some stone here, which means maybe there's stone broken underneath. There was some random pieces over here that were broken. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Something. Oh, see? Something else over here. This piece broke. That is so weird. I wonder if there's like a... I wonder if there was an invisible monster or a bug of some kind. That's big weird. I need to build an artisan table out there, and then I gotta take off to go get my kid, and I will probably end the stream because I gotta do lunchtime routine. Oh, come on. There we go. There's no, like, build limits in Valheim that, like, oh, you build enough stuff and some of it will randomly break. Like, that's not a thing. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Could be a bug of some kind. Let me put away as much of this shit as I can. Oh, I need 2 dragon's eyes. 2 dragon tears. For an artisan table, this one, and 10 wood. Thank you. It's taken quite a bit of work so far to put all this stuff together. And it's not done because I have a lot of things that I want to do. Yeah. I just don't know what would have done that much random destruction. See, there's another right here. So I feel like it must be like some kind of bug that caused some random destruction from pieces of builds that were like maybe on a questionable block or something, like some kind of a weird block update bug. I hear some goblins outside the wall. Weird. Why is it being so picky? Oh, I guess that could be it. Blimps are good at random destruction, right? Shooting fireballs everywhere, but I didn't see. And then this, it's so weird. Just do this. Let's just make a stone pad for it to sit on. There we go. And we'll do the same here. Oh, let's do it one more this way, just so I've got a little bit of walkway space. How did I just end up with extra nails? Okay. All right. I got to take off. I got to go pick up a kid from school and then do the whole lunchtime routine with the kiddo. I will probably not be back on until way later tonight. I'll probably stream a little bit again. I got to play catch up around the house, and I've got a lot of videos to parse through for my YouTube stuff. So here I go. Worshie, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but hey, thanks for hanging out, coming by, and all that fun stuff. And sub if you want to see when I'm back on again, or if you want, check out the channel, and then Twitch also if you would rather watch there at some point. But appreciate it. And yeah, if you want to see more of the build stuff, I plan on posting more content to the YouTube channel. So I will have that going at some